This podcast is a quest for well-being, a quest for a meaningful life through the exploration of fundamental truth. Enlightening ideas, insights on physical, mental, and spiritual health. The inspiration is love. The aspiration is to awaken new ways of thinking that can lead us to a new way of being well. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul Healing Conversations.
Whether you're meeting potential partners on an app or in the wild, experiencing butterflies or unpleasant signs of nervousness is common before a date. Thankfully, there are ways that these feelings can be managed. The pandemic has put the dating scene on pause, but once the physical distancing restrictions are lifted, singles can resume their search for love. To help you re-enter the realm of dating with confidence, psychotherapist Julie Chang offers some insight into how singles can cope with first date jitters and anxiety. Valeria Teles interviews Julie Chang. She is a Vancouver-based mental health clinician and speaker. Julie is a practitioner of mental health located in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. She has a master's degree in clinical psychology and clinical counseling and is currently finishing her doctoral degree in clinical psychology. In addition to professional training and experiences in psychotherapy and treatment, clinical counseling, behavioral intervention, and neuropsychological assessments, Julie also has a background in psychological research at the doctorate level and uses the empirical insights gained from previous studies to supplement her current clinical practice, making her unique as a practitioner of both clinical scientist and scientist-practitioner models. As an advocate of positive psychology who understands that mental health is more than the absence of illness, Julie focuses on building success and helping clients flourish, rather than merely reducing distress. She believes in a world where people achieve flourishing mental health. To do so, she is currently helping individuals one at a time to gain more control of their lives and to become versions of themselves they envision. What makes her different from other providers of mental health services are three core features. Julie strives to motivate her clients to learn the materials they work on in sessions actively, to enhance the awareness of psychology perspectives and concepts in their daily lives, and to relish in the experience while applying them in the real world. She encourages clients to share their psychological burden with her and to trust her to be there for them every step of the way. She grows and learns with her clients. Sometimes she is in a guiding role one step ahead. Sometimes she is a partner walking together at the same pace. And sometimes she follows the lead of the one she works with to hear and observe what they want to share. Julie's professional goal has always been to meet clients where they are and to nourish them therapeutically to bring felicity back into their lives while enjoying the process along the way. She often finds herself smiling and laughing rather than emotionally burnt out after what many others would consider to be a long day's worth of sessions, and attributes it to her enjoyment of spending time supporting all of her clients. She humbly acknowledges that she works and plays while living on the unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. Meet Julie at flourishingheartscounseling.ca. Here's the interview with Julie Chang.
In your own words, who am I speaking with today?
The quick and short answer that you're not looking for is that you are speaking with Julie Chang, owner of Flourishing Hearts Psychotherapy and Counseling Services here in lovely British Columbia of Canada, where I provide mental health services to the communities of the Lower Mainland. I sound like a commercial, I know. The more meaningful response to your question, and the one that I hope that you're looking for, is that you are speaking with someone who has been endeavoring to build on her allyship by empowering other marginalized, disenfranchised, and similarly vulnerable individuals to finding their self-worth. privilege, like inequality, I believe is intersectional. So I try to navigate my own sources of oppression as a girl, as a woman, and as a BIPOC individual, but also how they relate to my identity as a privileged, able-bodied cisgender with a coveted citizenship. The experience, I hope, will help my professional identity as a mental health professional and practitioner in recognizing unique experiences of multiple overlapping oppressions by clients that I serve, and to motivate me to continue striving to become their actionable ally.
What is life to you?
Life to me right now is a lesson in humility. As a doctoral student, I think every time when I start to learn about something and I think I may have grasped its meaning, it eludes me, and which inspires me, of course, to chase after this knowledge, chase after it even more. Often my clients come to me asking for the meaning of life, quite literally, actually, especially in mental health, especially in the mental health profession, and especially coming from clients who feel like life has no meaning or purpose for them. And unfortunately, I am unable to give them an answer because mine is different, and everyone has their own different answers. And in particular, it's also because my life is also in a state of flux, only that I'm comfortable with it being so because it continues to pique my curiosity to know more about what exactly it means right now to be alive and to build on my lived experience, both professionally and privately. Life, I feel, is very much worth living to me, and I am so blessed and feel so grateful to feel this way and to have that choice every day.
What is the purpose of the human experience?
The purpose of the human experience, to each their own, I suppose, but perhaps mine right now, by way of my profession as a mental health professional, is to seek connections with other people through their emotions, lived experiences, and most importantly, their vulnerability, I suppose. No man is an island. I remember this quote, and I remember learning about John Donne in high school English and immediately feeling connected with this line because humans are by nature gregarious creatures, and otherwise we would not have formed groups, communities, organizations like schools, governments, and even nations. Nor would we be so quite literally obsessed with relationships and communications. We all have unique purposes of our lived experiences, but as human species, perhaps collectively, ours is to connect, relate, and emphasize with others so that we may enrich each other's lives. And that is what I believe right now.
What are some of the greatest misconceptions about happiness, in your opinion?
About happiness, so that's a good question. I think some of the greatest misconceptions is that happiness is either only the result of the circumstances and what people have done to you, or that it is entirely a choice and is a decision that you can make for yourself completely independent of the world. Some of us are predisposed to be more sensitive to stress. Some of us are more at risk for depression or anxiety. Or some of us are dealt with more difficult hands in life and aversive challenges. There will be many unfair moments in which we cannot change our circumstances and our environment or other people. But I believe we can either feel hopeless and give up, or to try to find things within our control to change to increase our chances at happiness, which can be in areas such as our careers, goals, health, lifestyle, activities, and certain relationships. To say that both options are mutually independent of each other, or that either one is the only, the exclusive approach to happiness, I believe is a misconception, and it's a great one as well.
What is healing to you?
Healing. I believe healing is a process in which we are able to face our past pains, hurts, and or traumas, and to be able to feel them in a way that no longer causes us distress or disturbance. As a mental health professional, I do hear a lot of people saying that to heal is to forgive and forget, or that you just don't feel anything of those past hurts, pains, and traumas anymore. I personally appreciate the sentiments and know that what these people are actually trying to say is that they would like to move on. But I believe that there is a reason why we felt that those distressful emotions, such as sadness, grief, hurt, guilt, or anger. Let's say that if someone is a survivor of abuse, there would be a reason why this person would feel vulnerable emotions such as despair, powerlessness, and fear. These feelings may still linger for years after the experience, after the trauma, after the abuse. But one doesn't need to forget about them to not be still haunted by them. Knowing what that hurt feels like or felt like could, for example, motivate you to advocate to prevent domestic abuse and violence. And this process of advocacy can heal and continue to actually heal you. But forgetting or feeling numb about the experience, I don't think is moving on and healing. In my opinion, it might be seen as compartmentalizing. When we are hurt, it leaves a scar that reminds us of what we have overcome, what we have surpassed. And that is a reminder of what is healing, not just to delete it so completely that we forget all about all the feelings we ever had about it.
What is the meaning of freedom to you? What is to be free?
To me, freedom means to live with rules, but not to be bound by them. Just as day cannot exist without night, so too freedom needs rules for us to experience what it is to be free. Say that we don't have any rules and fall into anarchy, which history and biology have taught us that over and over again, that living organisms do that without means to organization. I think that living will probably become a really brutal game of survival. And that doesn't feel like it's free. With rules that offer protection and that respect our individuality and choices, I believe that is when we can experience true freedom. In my own private practice as well, I have so many clients who feel free and liberated only after they experience mental and or physical hardships. And there are also other clients who seem to be free, given their financial and their other privileges, only to tell me they feel really trapped and bored in their lives. And that doesn't seem to be true freedom to you, to me, at least to me. Freedom, therefore, I believe that does not come without conditions, and otherwise would not feel it nor grateful for it.
What is your understanding and idea of love?
Love. Love is a wonderful idea. My understanding of love is that it is both crazily beautiful, but also beautifully crazy in that it gets us to feel and act in ways that we never think possible otherwise. It is intense and passionate, but also mellow and deep at times. And I know I sound a little cliche. You don't have to remind me. I believe love is a unconditional state that gives and that receives, and without which we cannot form the profound emotional connections we do with other people and other creatures. It is love that drives us to care for other people, sometimes to our own detriment, and self-sacrifice. It can even be pure stupidity in some people's eyes. But the truest love and the truest form of love, I believe, does so without regret and is unconditional, such as someone's love for their child or their friend or their family that motivates them to donate an organ, even at the risk of their lives, or do other acts that actually endanger themselves, or that comes with a lot of other great sacrifices, which is what I think makes love ultimately so beautiful.
What is inner peace to you?
Inner peace feels like Sonnet 116. I think it's 116, if I remember my high school English correctly. I think it's, oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. I believe Shakespeare was writing about love, but I also believe that it could be readily applied to the concept, to the idea of inner peace one feels when they actually have a strong love in their heart, and that is not swayed by outside influences so easily, and can also be a source of great stability. It recognizes storms and chaos, but it still remains steady. Inner peace is a feeling that one is in control, I believe. In mental health, it could mean that perhaps in a state of the window of tolerance, and how someone could return to a state of calm and happiness despite disturbances.
How do you define success? What is to be successful to you?
Success is a state of happiness, appreciation and fulfillment of the purpose that you have defined for yourself, and to be prosperous and abundant in it. Some people find success in financial wealth. Some people find it in relationships, and others in status or education. For myself, personally, success is differently defined in my personal and professional life. Professionally, I'd appreciate to continue to have my services sought after, not only by people in need, but more importantly, by people who wish to maintain their flourishing mental health. I often get messages from current and former clients thanking me and telling me about how our work together has benefited them. And each and every single time, really, it truly made my day and motivates me to continue until the day I retire. And I hope by then I can say to myself that I have been successful in my career when I truly did provide a helpful service to people whose lives have hopefully changed for the better, partly because of my efforts, but most importantly because of the work that they allowed us the privilege of actually doing together. And with regard to my personal success, that let's just say I would like to keep that as a secret from the people on the air. Thanks.
So, why did you choose to do what you do?
Okay. people keep asking me this question, what do I do? And why did I actually choose to do what I do? People keep asking me this question, and it makes me feel almost guilty of hubris, that I always had a feeling that I think I'd be good at it. I remember when I was in elementary, I started volunteering my recess breaks to spend time with a girl with what I believe it was cerebral palsy. I can't quite remember, but I believe looking back at these symptoms and at her presentation, I believe it was cerebral palsy. I didn't really know why I did it, to be honest. Only that I was comfortable with working with people with different needs. And as I grew older, I don't believe it's because I was kind or anything. I just found myself often in a listening role with kids who were not even my friends, and sometimes even teachers, especially in high school when, a lot of teenage drama started forming. And by the way, that's probably how I knew how much my high school teachers were making. So a little bit too much information from teachers, actually. And from there, I guess it formed the idea in me that I'd be good as a healthcare provider, or more specifically as a helper. I also originally started off wanting to become a teacher near the end of elementary, but then quickly realized that I did not enjoy dissecting tissues of organisms in high school. When I was in undergrad as well, I was invited to apply for a summer medical scholarship that I was told would become like a boon to an application for medical school. But then I saw what I actually had to do in the term of this medical scholarship in the summer. One of the projects that I was invited to actually do was to induce strokes in rats. And after I saw the procedure, I decided that maybe I should stick with becoming a healthcare professional where I can at least practice social distancing and then not sticking knives in people or other rats, which just happened to be mental health. So here I am, a mental health practitioner providing psychotherapy and counseling services to all those who seek me.
Talk to me for a moment about the services you offer.
I offer life-changing services for the low price of your soul, or $1 million. Okay, I was joking. As a mental health professional, I empower individuals to achieve flourishing mental health. And to do so, I am helping individuals one at a time to gain more control of their lives and to become versions of themselves that they envision. I believe what makes me different than other providers of mental health services are 3 core features that I try to practice. So first, I strive to motivate people to learn the materials that we actually work on in sessions actively, and to enhance the awareness of psychological perspectives and concepts in their daily lives, and to relish in the experience while applying them in the real world. And I hope to give people the idea and to dispel the misconception that therapy is just really serious and gloomy. And I hope that people can come to realize, at least with me, that therapy can be fun. And second, I encourage people to share their psychological burden with me and to trust me to be there for them every step of the way. After all, I believe that people chose me for a reason, so hopefully they can trust me to help them. And number 3, I grow and I learn with all my clients. I often find myself smiling and laughing rather than feeling emotionally burned out after what many would consider to be a long day's worth of sessions, and to attribute it to my enjoyment of spending time supporting every single one of my clients. And if I were a client, I believe, this is what I believe as well. If I were a client, I would want someone who genuinely loves seeing me as well. And I truly do enjoy seeing my clients.
Where can we find more information about you, your work, products, services, and future projects?
I offer clinical services in the form of psychotherapy and counseling at my private clinic at Flourishing Hearts Psychotherapy and Counseling Services here in Vancouver, BC. And I invite everyone all over the world, especially those who live in British Columbia, Canada, to drop by my website at flourishingheartscounseling.ca. Hearts with an S and counseling with double L. I have a short biography on the BC Association of Clinical Counselors and Psychology Today, and I promise to update my blog post in the upcoming new year, so be sure to look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your presence, for sharing your wisdom and doing what you do.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about Julie Chang and her work, please visit flourishingheartscounseling.ca.
To learn more about this podcast, please visit fitforjoy.org/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and bye for now.